Oh, hello, everybody. Andrew here for Cat Skull Gaming. How's it going? It is the weekly Dev Diary, the last week of August. Um, yeah, so let's just jump right into it. What have we been up to this past week? So I have been pretty much just working on getting the various systems set up. So our dice, as we can see now, have faces. Isn't that fun? They roll, and when we pick them up, we now grab the face that is showing, and our little attack thing over here has to be put in to the right slot, or it won't let you put it into the slot. Then once the slot's filled, it says, hey, the slot's filled. And down here we can see we have an attack value. So that's basically set up. And that's pretty much what I've been working on all week, is getting the attack slot set up. The thing that I need to do now is I need to make it so that when you fill the slot, the dice is freed, so it's removed from the scene. Really, it should be real simple to do. Just make a check. Has this been done? If it has been, you free it. Otherwise, when you release it, I still need it so that when you let go, the dice goes back to where it should go. If you don't put in a slot, so if I just let go here, it goes back, even though it's over a filled slot. It needs to know that that's filled, and so it doesn't queue free it, and you lose the data. So I got to set that logic up. Also, once that's set up, when you fill a slot, you'll run out of dice. So I need to get the drop door set up with its logic, and it needs logic that says only 5 dice in here, and once they're in here, they line up the way they were originally. And then however many dice you have on the table, or however many dice you use, it drops that many dice, adds them to the pool. And then the dice bag needs logic that says, hey, drop X amount of dice into here to fill it up. So that stuff needs to be set up. And I mean, this isn't the Dev Diary for next week. This is Dev Diary for this week. I'm just thinking about tomorrow. So what did I do this week? I mean, that's it. It was a lot of work getting that working, getting so that the dice automatically update with the faces. And you can see I've got a bunch of just test faces so that I can test, which is, yeah, so I can test various images on the faces. Let me see if I can move that over. Hang on. There we go. So here's the dice resource. Yes, dice resource. We have all of the various attributes so that we can start to mess with the dice, the different forces we can put on them so that we can change the way that they roll. And then we have the other information, the face, and then the pips. One of the unfortunate things that I learned is that you can't layer 2 textures in a mesh. You have to use a shade or some other layering process. So I need to figure out how to do that. But for now, we just have numbers because it's easy to put a 3D label on top of the mesh and then just put the pip information into that. So then we have the data, so I can change how much a face is worth and how much a pip is worth. And then that is all calculated into our attack. So when it takes, part of the game logic is it takes in a base attack, so each attack value will have a base attack, and then it takes that face and pip value and adds it to that slot. And then once you have all the slots filled, it takes all of those values, and that's how you get your final output of the attack value. So hopefully once we get a loop, we'll be able to quickly create attack slots that we can then put into there quickly create new dice and new dice values, new faces, and new pips that can quickly be put into a dice resource and put onto a dice object to create new dice. Will be same thing with enemies. Have a way to quickly create and iterate through enemies by just dropping in all the information we need to create that enemy, including color swap, palette swap, size, texture, different values for damage, range, health. And my goal is once we get the loop and we have those things set up, iterate. Get all three of us playing, and start to figure out what needs to be adjusted, what needs to be changed, how do we balance, how do we take the right corners off so that the player has fun playing the game. We have a lot of ideas that we talked about going back and forth where we just don't know how they'll work until we actually get into the game to actually try it and see what's going on. So, let me move this back real quick. Amazing video editing skills live. All right. The other thing that I did this week is I merged what Dayton's been working on and what I was working on, and I broke the crap out of it. And it took me like 2 hours to unbreak the merge conflict. Merging is when you take someone else's code and your code and you put them together into the same code. And invariably, I'm not good at writing code, and I don't know how to write things so that they work together. Something I want to talk to Dayton about, see if he has any solutions or suggestions to help me be better about that stuff, because right now I'm still just like full steam ahead. I'm really not used to working with people, and so I don't tend to think like, oh yeah, someone else needs to be in here and someone else is doing stuff to this code base actively. I need to be a good custodian and make sure that I'm doing things that help both of us so that we don't have to spend 2 or 3 hours correcting merge conflicts. But that's learning, that's the fun of the game dev, it's the fun of the project. And I'm having fun, which is really nice. Really hoping to get the loop done this week. Long weekend because it's Memorial Day or Labor Day or one of those days that we have a holiday for. So I have Monday off, which is great. Hopefully I'll be able to get a lot of work done over the weekend. We're going to be finishing up the Quiet Year on Monday. We've gotten through all 3 seasons of that, and that's awesome. Once we get done with that, then we can get all that information together and start to put together a vision board. Vision board's not the right word, but like a design doc. So we can sit down with the guys. We can talk about now, after we've played the game, if we're talking about narrative, what are we feeling? What is the emotion that we're getting from this? What is the emotion that we want the player to have? What kind of game are we making now? What is the thrust, the thesis of that? The narrative structure, like what are they trying to do, so that we can design that into the system so that it's a cohesively holistic thing, which is pushing the player towards a singular experience. That's really important to me, that it is cohesive and it is unified in that manner, so that the thing that we make, you can make something that is not great, but it's just good by just doing some very simple things like being unified and cohesive in your thought, paying attention to the small details, editing, taking feedback, correcting mistakes, and just paying attention to the project and those small details along the way. It's not that it's great, but you can get something good by just doing some simple things generally. At least that's my experience. And so focusing on those things because I don't have the experience to know what else to focus on is kind of the push with this one. But that's about it for this week. Hopefully, yeah, we'll get a loop by next week. Silksong comes out in less than a week, and I know come Thursday night, I'm probably gonna be playing me some Silksong because, I mean, come on, it's Silksong. I'm expecting, I'm expecting it to be Hollow Knight, but more, which is exactly what I want from that game. So that's it for me. That's the Dev Diary. Uh, Thank you for coming and checking it out. Please like, subscribe, do all the things. Check out all the other stuff that we have going on. And yeah, thanks. I'm Andrew, and hopefully you're you. Bye. Boop.